Let's see what kind of cha-ching I made off the bling in 2019. Hello everybody, it's Margaret and welcome to my channel, Texas Gal Treasures. I am a homeschooling mom who resells on eBay to help support my family, and in this video we're going to take a look at my top jewelry sales from 2019. We'll talk about why I picked up the item, what it sold for, and how I decided on the price. And I want to hear from you. Have you started selling jewelry yet? If not, what is stopping you? Before we get started, if you're new here, go down there and hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you're notified when I put out new content about selling on eBay. I frequently get questions about how I take my pictures, so I will link right up here a video I've created sharing how I took pictures of my jewelry items. Many of the items that I sold are featured in that video. So let's take a peek at my top jewelry sales. These are sales on eBay and Etsy. As many of you guys know, I sell on both platforms and I cross-post most of the items that I've got, especially if they are vintage. I can sell them on both sites. So let's dive into my best jewelry sales of 2019. I do have a lot of questions about how I choose to price my items, especially when they're higher. And so I'll talk about that as we go along. So this is the first item that sold. We're going from lowest to highest. This item sold for $52. This is a Mayan Aztec bird god, and it was a museum piece, like a replica, and I got it at an estate sale, and I think I paid about $5 for it, and I could not find one exactly like it. I found others from that same line, that replica from the museum, but I couldn't find another one like this one. I thought it was unique enough to put a higher price on it, so he sold for $52. And yes, it's a he. Next up is this turquoise and sterling silver bracelet. This is one that I got in a lot that I bought from someone with 500 pieces of jewelry. No, it was more than 500 pieces of jewelry. I paid $500 for a humongous lot of stuff. And this was in that lot. So it's sterling silver, turquoise. And this is actually one that sold and was returned and then sold again. And so this one was $58. And the next item is this Lang, let me get to where it shows the name, Lang, Swan brooch. So Lang is the brand. I believe I bought this one at the same estate sale that I bought the Mayan bird brooch thing. So probably paid around $4 or $5 for it. But for this kind of return, it was definitely worth it. There were a few out there from what I remember when I was doing my search, but because of the name, because of the kind of prices that the Lang name would command, I felt pretty comfortable selling it for $75, and it didn't take too long for it to sell either. So next up is this sterling silver and turquoise ring. This one sold for $75. This was also in that $500 lot that I purchased, and it sold for $75. Next up was this sterling silver, and I think it's 9 karat gold. Yeah, 18 karat gold and sterling silver brooch. This one sold for $75 as well, and I can't quite remember what I paid for this one. It wasn't that much, $5 or less. I tend to look for the unique, or I don't know. I mean, silver doesn't, I look for silver. And if you notice, that's something that's taking precedence through all of these. The common thread is a lot of these are sterling silver. A lot of these are unique pieces like Mayan, Aztec, Peruvian, and also turquoise. Can't go wrong with turquoise. So this one sold for $75. Next up, this cuff is another one that was in that $500 lot. It sold for $75 as well. And this one was a named brand one, Anson and Letitia Wallace. So this one did have a maker's mark, and Native American jewelry with the maker's mark can go for even higher. And I did see other sterling silver and the inlaid, kind of like a layer, a panel, what do I call it? Single layer inlay, but you know, sometimes you'll see them with multiple layers, and those ones can go for even higher. But here was my thinking on this one. somebody might not want those multiple layers. They may just want something simple, minimalist. And so I decided to kind of put the price up a little bit, because if somebody's really wanting just that one single layer, minimalist looking sterling silver and turquoise bracelet, well, if that's the style they're looking for, then they're willing to pay a little bit more for exactly what they want. This one was iffy for me. I really took a chance on this necklace. This is a cherry quartz beaded necklace, and I did list it for $90. I may have actually listed it for a little more and took a best offer on this. But this was one that I had to do a bit of research on to see what cherry quartz was. I was not super familiar with it, and you guys, my fellow resellers and jewelry lovers, helped me out, helped guide me in the right direction to help me figure out what kind of stones these actually were. And then I started noticing the prices on cherry quartz could go pretty high, so I decided to take a chance and put it up for $90. And I might have actually put it up for a little bit more than that, but took an offer, because my thought was I can always bring the price down, but once you put it up there and it sells like that, that's just the worst, isn't it? So I thought, you know what? I'm going to put it up for a high price, see how it goes in 3 months, and then I can start bringing the price down. I didn't have to do that. This one sold. So the next item, this bracelet was also in that $500 lot. It sold for $115. It was a turquoise sterling silver bracelet, and this one sold for $115. Again, there are other bracelets that are similar-ish to this that are up there for less. But my thought was, if I can't find one exactly like it, somebody is going to say, that's the exact one I want. That is exactly what I'm looking for. These other ones are nice. They're kind of cool. They'd be okay, but like, that's the one. And so they're willing to pay a higher price for the item that they really want. Next up is this cute Zuni Owl. This is another one, same sort of philosophy as the previous bracelet. There are other Zuni owls out there. This is a Zuni Owl brooch, and my title in my actual listing was longer than that, but it has, tortoise shell, it has all kinds of things, onyx, abalone, or mother of pearl rather, but there were different ones because they're all one of a kind. So some of them, the owl's a little bit squatter, a little bit chubbier, a little bit, so they all looked a little bit different. And my thought was, somebody's going to be looking at all these different owls. They're going to see mine and think, that's the one that speaks to me. That's the one I want. These other ones are cute. They'd be okay. But that one is the cutest, the best. I love it. And that's just subjective. So what one person thinks is their favorite, somebody else may not. So even when I'm looking at these other owls, I might think, wow, that one's really cute. That one's cuter than mine. But who am I to say? I'm not the buyer. The buyer's the buyer. So I put the price up and it sold $116. And this one I bought at that same estate sale, I believe, with the Lang Swan and the, I keep doing this, the other Mayan bird god thing. So I believe I paid about $5 for this. I think that's wrong. I think I paid a little bit more. I think it was closer to $14, $12, somewhere in there. But it was still a really good profit. Next up is this charm bracelet, and this one sold for $120. The reason is it is a brand name. It's Stuart Nye, and they're leaves and little pine cones. And the reason I price this at $120 instead of more, yes, more, is that this is something that is still for sale on Stuart Nye's website. So you can get all the different charms, you can get the bracelet, you can get the earrings, the necklace, all the different stuff. And I believe that it's about $180 to $200 for this bracelet new on the website. So technically I probably could have listed it for more, but I thought, you know what? $120 is still pretty good. And this, again, was in that $500 lot that I bought. This also was in the $500 lot that I bought. As you can see that I have certainly made my money back by now from all of the different pieces that I've sold. There was lots of sterling silver, rings, bracelets, and so it was really a good deal. that I'm very grateful for. So this is this was a Douglas, what's his name? Douglas Etsidi Navajo Feather sterling bracelet. This is another one that there were some up that were similar to this, but they were not exactly like this. And then mine did have some wear on it, but I know that there are some people that like to have it where it's not just totally pristine, where it looks like it's, a little bit, I don't want to say rustic, but it looks worn a little bit and not shiny and new. Everybody, there's a buyer out there for everything. So this one did sell for $135. Now this is something I've had for a really long time. It is a money clip, but it had this Aztec or Mayan calendar. It had inlaid abalone. It was pretty rustic looking, and it was sterling silver. So I put it up for about $150 because generally money clips sell really fast for me. And this one I was like, okay, well, we'll see. This is one of those, well, I can always drop the price. But then I just never did. I just left it alone. So I've probably had this for over a year, and I just kind of left it alone, and it ended up selling for $148. I priced it at that because I couldn't find anything like it. So I just kind of took the sterling silver and the different aspects of it that I thought would draw in different buyers, the calendar and the abalone, and just thought, okay, let's just see what we can get for it. And it finally did sell for $148. So it was worth the wait. And then finally, this was my top sale of the year. This was also in that $500 lot. This was a cloisonne and Cinabar bracelet, and I was so glad that I pulled this one out to list, because as I list, I learn, and I knew what Cinabar was, but I had never had some to resell or come across any where I could really dive deep and figure out, like, how do you know if Cinabar is real or if it's fake Cinabar, because it can be faked. So I was able to really do a deep dive into this and learn about what makes Cinabar Cinabar. And I did a video explaining it and all of my findings. And so I can link that up here if you're interested in checking it out. So this ended up being Cinabar and cloisonne, and it sold for $165. Beautiful, beautiful bracelet. It was kind of sad to see it go, but $165 made it really easy to do so. And I did create this on a blog post on my site, texasgaltreasures.com. So if you're interested in checking it out in further detail, some of them link to the listing if you want to go look at the original listing. Some of them, the original listings from eBay, have already gone because it's past 90 days. But if you're wanting to, you can go check that out. And then also at the bottom here, and I'll also link it, how I take my jewelry photos with my iPhone. And so you can see how I took the photos for many of these pieces. What is something that you sold recently for a high price that kind of surprised you? And if you're ever interested in learning more about jewelry, then make sure you follow me on Facebook and join my Facebook group, Texas Gals Jewelry Lovers, where we are open to everybody. Whether you are beginning selling jewelry or you're very experienced, we are there to help you on your journey to selling jewelry online. And I will see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.